total confidence in him. Donald Trump defends son-in-law after Russia communication row. U.S. President Donald Trump has hit back in defense of his son-in-law Jared Kushner following claims he looked to set up a secret phone line with Moscow. Mr. Trump described his senior advisor as a good person and said he believed he was doing a great job in the wake of the row, which he branded as fake news. But his statement is not enough to quell the fears of White House staff who have called for Mr. Kushner, who is married to Mr. Trump's daughter Ivanka, to be allowed a leave of absence as questions continue to be asked over his links to Russia. Republican Mr. Trump said Mr. Kushner had his overwhelming support but refused to be drawn on the actual allegations of looking to set up a back channel between the U.S. and Russia, which date back in December, a month before Mr. Trump was officially inaugurated. He said, "Jared is doing a great job for the country. I have total confidence in him. He is respected by virtually everyone and is working on programs that will save our country billions of dollars. In addition to that, and perhaps more importantly, he is a very good person." An FBI probe is closely looking at the links between people close to the president and the Kremlin during the election campaign. It is claimed Mr. Kushner had looked to rely upon Russian equipment in a bid to block U.S. interception of any discussions taking place with Moscow. Allegations have surfaced following a FBI probe and are said to have happened before Mr. Trump entered the White House and while he was away on a trip. Mr. Trump, in a series of tweets, which came in the wake of his 9-day trip to the Middle East and Europe, said, "It is my opinion that many of the leaks coming out of the White House are fabricated lies made up by the fake news media. Whenever you see the word sources say in the fake news media, and they don't mention names, it is very possible that those sources don't exist but are made up by fake news writers. Fake news is the enemy." Mr. Kushner is claimed to have been in touch with the Russian ambassador to the U.S. 3 times before and after 2016, according to 7 current and ex-U.S. officials. Investigators probing the case believe he has key information but is not suspected of a crime. Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly defended having back channels with foreign powers and said the situation was normal and acceptable. Mr. Kelly said, "Any way that you can communicate with people, particularly organizations that are maybe not particularly friendly to us, is a good thing and, again, it comes back to whatever the communication is, comes back into the government and shared across the government." And Mr. Trump's National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster also defended the decision and revealed, "Generally speaking, we have back-channel communication with a number of countries." An insider said despite the current situation Mr. Kushner was unlikely to lose his position in the White House and said, "Jared is not going anywhere, and, it doesn't matter what regrettable mistakes he's made." Real estate developer Mr. Kushner has offered to answer any and all questions over his links with Russia. Suggestions were that Moscow elections was involved in interfering in the U.S. elections, through hacking, in a bid to help Mr. Trump defeat Democrat Hillary Clinton.